Hey guys, this is my Achillea, also known as yarrow, and it has finally started to bloom. I had this in my old allotment, I transplanted it to here. It is a perennial, it's taken a while to get going, but finally it has started blooming and it looks so beautiful. It's the pastel colours, so I have started cutting it to get all of those beautiful pinks and peaches, and it turns out I'm allergic to it. Yeah. For anyone that doesn't know, my name is Peggy and I am growing flowers here on my cut flower allotment in Kanagawa Prefecture, Japan, which is just south of Tokyo in USDA Zone 9B. Thanks for checking out my channel. Achillea is named Achillea after Achilles, the Greek hero from the Trojan Wars. Now, when he was young, he was sent up into the mountains where he trained with a centaur called Chiron, or Chiron, depending on your English or Greek pronunciation of it, who was a great swordsman, but also known for his knowledge of medicinal healing. And so he taught that to Achilles as well. Achilles took that onto the battlefield and became famous for carrying yarrow. Yarrow is known for stopping blood. It causes your blood to clot. It also helps with healing wounds, making wounds heal faster, and it can be used for pain relief as well. It's great for headaches, for menstrual pain. It's got lots and lots of healing abilities, and so Achilles would carry some of this around with him and use it on his soldiers when they were wounded, which obviously made him quite popular. Ooh, I'm getting blown away. With his soldiers. So that's why it's called Achilles, called Achillea even. Also known as yarrow, that's its common name. And it's so pretty, and I've seen so many flower farmers that I follow use it as a really good filler because it kind of comes in these big discs, and so you can have one piece of this and then you kind of slot your flowers in around it, and it really fills those gaps behind your focal flowers, and it's beautiful. And I mean, you can see on just this one piece, this bit's kind of peach, this one's much pinker, and this one is a slightly softer pink. And so this is the pastels range. Now, when this started to bloom, mostly it was the white colours coming up, and I was getting a bit nervous that I was only going to get white. But then recently, as you can see behind me, it started to come in all the different pastel-y colours, and so many of them have now bloomed. Like I say, I transplanted this and I wasn't sure if that was going to be okay, but it turns out it looks great, it looks fine. So I was really, really happy. But then for the last couple of weeks, I have been harvesting this and picking it, and as I am picking it, I have been noticing that I was getting big red rashes all down my arms. At first I thought it was just mosquito bites because the mosquitoes are crazy. And I thought, oh, I'm just getting lots of mosquito bites while I'm picking this. Maybe they like to hide in there. But having researched it a bit further, no. Although it is a great medicinal plant, yarrow can also cause a lot of irritation. A lot of people are allergic to the pollen from the flowers. Also the leaves are like this. They're kind of fluffy little leaves, but they are actually covered in a chemical that causes a skin reaction and can cause itching. And then the sap also can be a skin irritant. And I am finding that I think it's the leaves, but also the sap is really, really affecting me, and it's painful and it's sore and it's itchy and it takes a long time to go away. So as much as I am loving my Achillea, I am not going to have something in the garden that is causing that much of a reaction to me. It just makes it too hard to harvest. It makes it too hard for me to use when I'm doing bouquets. I'm obviously stripping these leaves down, and if it's the leaves that I'm having the reaction to, it's kind of a pain in the bum because it's a lot harder to do that with gloves on. So yeah, I'm really upset about it, but I think it's time that I just say if I'm allergic to it, it's not going to be in my garden, so I'm going to pull it up. Yeah, after waiting that long for it to establish and look this good, I'm going to pull it up. It's looking so good. I really don't want to have to do it. And it's also great for the pollinators. Pollinators love this. But honestly, I've waited a long time to get this because I've seen other people grow it and I've seen how good it looks in their bouquets. Especially this pastel type. I saw a Bloom & Grey, who I like to follow in the UK. She makes a lot of bouquets with this and it looks absolutely stunning with her colour palette, and I really wanted it for that reason, and I'm so upset that I'm going to have to get rid of it. But having said that, over the last couple of weeks while I've been cutting it, I have noticed that it doesn't smell particularly nice. Now, I display most of my flowers in the genkan, which is the small Japanese porch kind of at the front of your house, and it doesn't have great airflow, and it has been very, very hot here. And I've found that this has a very, very sour smell. Also, this is great for drying because it holds its colour and it holds its shape, and so a lot of people use it for drying. But again, I don't have great ventilation in the area that I'm drying it in, and it does have a very, very sour smell to it. Quite a strong sour smell to it. So I'm kind of thinking, it's not so bad because it wasn't actually performing as well as I wanted to in my conditions. So maybe this is a great one for other people, but for me, it's not. So I am going to go ahead and cut all of this back. And then because it's a perennial, I'm going to have to dig out the roots as well, or it'll just keep coming back. Ooh, it's windy. Okay, because I am having such a bad reaction to this, I am going to suit up. I am going for long sleeves and long gloves because I do not want this stuff touching me. And I'm just going to try and do it really, really fast because it's 33 degrees out here today. It's really, really hot. So I have to do this before I pass out from heat exhaustion. So we're gloved, we're covered. I'm also going to put on my hat because it's hot. Let's cut this down. Luckily this does have quite shallow roots, so it comes up pretty easily. Look at that. Okay, that's it all out, and it actually came out a lot easier than I expected. But now I have this big space in the garden, and I'm not really sure what to put in it because that was my filler. Now, in here is supposed to be all of my filler. I've got some sage, I've got my bee balm, I've got some pink fluffy grass, which doesn't seem to be doing very much, Mueller grass. I've got some, what else have I got in there? Ami, which I'm hoping is going to come because it's got the same big kind of dome shape as my Achillea did. I've got my dill in here and my fennel. Now they've not really liked it here at all. But my dill that I had at home in a much shadier place actually did really well. So I'm thinking that I might have to grow more dill at home in the shade and not try and grow it here. It's too bright for it here. But none of these are early spring flowers, whereas my Achillea came up really, really early. So now I don't know what to grow in this space now because we're in June and I need to fill it quickly. I will probably end up putting in sunflower. Anyone that's following along, please don't laugh at me. I'm not going to grow sunflower this year. I think I'll put in sunflower. But I think I might get some 45-day sunflower and get those in the ground here just so that this part of the garden isn't sitting bare for the rest of the summer. That's a complete waste in a small garden. So I might fill it with that. But if you guys have any idea of what a good early spring filler could be to fill up this hole, please let me know because I'm gutted that I just had to do that. But there's no point in having something that's going to cause me irritation and pain in the garden. So it's gone. Bye bye Achillea. It'll be interesting to see how much of this comes back next year because it is a perennial. I did try and pull up all of the roots just now, but it'll be interesting to see if any of them actually come back from any roots that I missed in there. Yeah, so please, if you have any suggestions for a new filler for me to grow, leave comments down below for me. If you'd like to follow along and see how the garden does through the rest of the season, remember to hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to see what I do with all the flowers that I cut, you can check out my Instagram, which is From the Witch's Garden, and there is a link to that below as well. And I put up pictures of what's going on in the garden on a more daily basis and what I do with my flowers there. Oh, sunflowers. Got to go buy some sunflower seeds now. I will see you guys next week. Bye.